This is the INS Vikramaditya, the tiger of the Indian Ocean. This Russian-made Kiev-class aircraft carrier literally dictates power to the unchallenged Indian Navy. And as we have learned from the past, domination over the oceans decide the final fate of global wars. Today, the continent of Asia is trembling in fear in wake of a war breaking out between India and China. The only physical barrier separating them is the huge mountain ranges of the Himalayas. Both countries have effectively piled up military personnel across the border, leaving no stones unturned to address a full-blown confrontation. But advancing across the mountains is a costly affair and will eventually run into an animated stalemate. And air power of both countries will be ineffective as both have advanced anti-aircraft hardware to bring down top-notch air power such as the Indian Apache helicopters and the Chinese J-20s. This is where the Navy steps in. Currently, the Indian Navy is the sixth largest navy in the world, following UK and Japan. The subcontinent has a long coastal area spanning 12,938 kilometers, which is filled with naval bases, all along the west and the east coast, along with the famous Campbell Bay Naval Base in the Andaman Island, which enables for quick reinforcement and refueling. The second biggest navy in the Indian Ocean, the Pakistani Navy, is too underdeveloped to challenge India in the ocean. Its most advanced fighter, Alamgir class frigate, is outclassed by the Indian Navy. The other nations with a sizable navy presence in the Indian Ocean like Iran, Saudi Arabia, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Indonesia are also weak to compete with the Indian naval forces. The most important strategic advantage that India gets is that it has direct access to three of the world's most important waterways of the world. The Strait of Hormuz, which carries 22% of the global crude oil cargo, the Gulf of Aden, which connects to Europe through the crucial Suez Canal, and finally, the Strait of Malacca, which is China's lifeline to global trade. This 65-kilometer wide naval checkpoint can change the dynamics of the war. China's 80% of crude oil import and nearly 39% of its global import and export depends on this channel. Before proceeding, let's see how India's navy fares against the Chinese navy. The three horsemen of naval battle include aerial warfare in navy, fighter ship warfare, and stealth underwater warfare. Aerial naval warfare is a direct use of a moving air base, which is usually accompanied by other ships like destroyers and is called a carrier group. Such carrier groups are a huge advantage to every navy. India has one carrier, that is INS Vikramaditya, while China has two carriers, Liaoning and Shandong. Huge naval battleships, such as destroyers, constitute the real muscle of a naval strength. They form the front line in water-to-water warfare. India currently has 10 destroyers, 13 frigates, and 23 corvettes, while China has 34 destroyers, 47 frigates, and 46 corvettes. The third layer of naval warfare is underwater warfare or stealth warfare. India has two nuclear-powered submarines, out of which one has the capability of ballistic missiles attack. India has 16 conventional diesel-powered attack submarines, while China has 17 nuclear-powered submarines, out of which 6 have ballistic missile capability and 56 conventional diesel-powered attack subs. I take two assumptions in my approach towards simulating a war scenario. No allied partners for either countries, with one exception of Pakistan, allied China, which was unavoidable. No use of nuclear weapons or espionage intelligence. If through immediate military action, India is able to put a blockade of the Strait of Malacca, the Chinese ship will be forced to retreat and take a longer route around the Indonesian islands. Forcing through the strait is a bad idea because India can set up anti-ship batteries in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, which is a perfect example of a home advantage. Now, the southern Indian Ocean will become an open battleground. The Chinese Navy can rendezvous at any point through this 4,000-kilometer long, loosely demarcated war zone. India will deploy its most prized asset, the INS Vikramaditya carrier group, here, and so will be the high Chinese frequency of attack as they will push through heavily to break this chain. If the Chinese are able to break this barrier, the war is all but lost. The Chinese, having realized the overt dependency on the Malacca Strait and being on the receiving end of India's dominance in the Indian Ocean, they started the Belt and Road Initiative of the Indian Ocean called the BORIOI. As such, to secure the vulnerable crude oil import route that run the economy, they built the Gwadar port in Pakistan to establish a direct land route to mainland China, and also to protect it, they established the military base in Djibouti, Africa. This base is a real challenge to the Western Command of the Indian Navy as they have stockpiled nuclear submarines. India has a ace up its sleeve as it has its own economic port in Chahabar, Iran, which can use as military base in war times. India must launch a air plus naval plus land mission Gwadar to capture southern Pakistan before risking a Chinese reinforcement. Because of large redirection of forces to the Pakistani plains, India will lose certain grounds in the northern and northeastern territories to Chinese troops. The death trap that has been set will eventually tame the Chinese offensive, because after severing two most important trade routes, the war won't be running too long. Ruling out the possibility of a nuclear war, as we have assumed earlier, is a highly unlikely situation, and one of the three warring states will eventually resort to nuclear weapons.